Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Hey there, Four States. This is Luke Taylor, and welcome to today's edition of This Week in Crowder College. Today we're speaking with Jason Bond, and he is the coach for the Crowder College soccer teams for both men and women, and he's going to be speaking with us today for a little update on the season and how that's going. So, hey, Jason Bond, thanks for being with us on the program.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, so go ahead and give us the update. How are the teams doing this year?
We're off to a pretty good start. So we're about to wrap up season for the women's team. They actually just qualified for playoffs for the first time in program history. So their route to the postseason is having a winning record versus NJCAA opponents, and we actually sealed that last week with a win over State Fair at home. So that was pretty exciting. So they'll be the Region 16 champion. And represent our area. So they're actually heading to Council Bluffs, Iowa on the 25th to face Indian Hills. So first time appearing in the district tournament as well. So been a good year for them so far.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. And so you're the head coach for the men's and women's teams. How long have you been doing that for Crowder?
I started the women's team in fall 2022, January 22. And then took over the men's that next fall. So this is year 3 with both teams.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that they're doing so well under your leadership there. And I was a student at Crowder around 2006 to 2009, and I think the soccer program was pretty new around that time. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think it's about 11, 12 years for the men's side.
Okay.
And then, the women's, there's the new one. Just launched a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, so it's great to hear how they're doing, and so if people want to catch a Crowder game and keep up to date with the soccer teams, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can just head to the Crowder Athletic website. Both teams do have last home game where they both play is October 22nd versus National Park, and then the men also have one more home game against John Brown Reserve on the 30th. And then after that, they'll play their playoff game November 2nd at Jefferson College. And that's the region final. So if they win that one, they'll move on to the district tournament. So we're in that last couple weeks wrapping things up.
Yeah, sounds like it. So but that last home game, you said that's going to be coming up this Tuesday? Yeah,
Tuesday is both. That's the last women's home game. They've already qualified for playoffs, so that game's kind of just like a non-conference game essentially. Still count on the record, but won't count towards that playoff eligibility. And then they'll play their away game on the 25th. And then, boys still have about 5 games left, though. They have away game Friday, home game Tuesday, on the road the 28th, the home game 30th, and then on the road again on November 2nd. So they still have quite a few to wrap up the year.
Well, so between Crowder soccer program, and I know we have that newer store location here in town that's the Corner Kick, and of course Sports Locker here in town has some soccer gear as well. So for soccer lovers here in the Neosho area, they got some options if they want to stay close to home and kind of stretch those muscles. And if they're high school age, if they're looking for something to do in college, that's an option for them as well to look at Crowder. Yeah,
definitely. Our women's team is predominantly local players. And then our men's team as well has quite a few. We have 2 that regularly start from Carthage High School, and then a couple other guys from the area that are getting time and contributing. So we're definitely trying to find local men's and women's players to come play for us. And it's been definitely had a lot of contributions from the local area.
Yeah, well, if anyone listening wants to know more about the soccer program at Crowder College, you can talk to Jason Bond. That's who we've been speaking to today. He's the head coach for men's and women's out there. And hey, Jason, thanks for your time this morning.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.